Hey, welcome to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. We have ranch staff on the show, and you don't want to miss it. Gabbi Latin, who lived at the ranch with her parents, so we'll be right back with Liz Rosso and Gabbi Latin. Welcome to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. I'm your host, Perry Black, and on this show we have two lovely young ladies that serve in various capacities at Second Chance Youth Ranch. So our guest today, Liz Rosso. Some of you may have seen Liz before, and the first ever on Second Chance Youth Ranch TV, Gabbi Latin. Now, some of you may have seen her mom or her dad on the show at some point. So let's get started, and in this first segment, I always want our staff to get to know you. And since everybody doesn't watch every show, they may not know Liz either, Gabbi. So let's start with Liz. Liz, tell me about you. Where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Puerto Rico.
In Puerto Rico?
Yep.
You know, I've been to San Juan.
Yep. It's a beautiful place.
Took a tour of Old San Juan. And the bus driver, he said, and over here is the police building, and over here is the school building. That's how he said building,
Yep.
and that stuck with me.
Yeah.
Well, that was a beautiful, beautiful trip, though. And were you in the area of Puerto Rico? I think a baseball player named Roberto Clemente.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We drove by the stadium. I think it's
Yep.
named after him. You know
Yep.
what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
don't have any idea what I'm talking about. Yeah, so that
My
was really
grandpa used to
impactful.
watch
So you
baseball,
grew
so,
up
yeah.
in that area.
Yep. Until I was 12. That's when we moved here.
You moved, and when you moved here, where is here?
To Bryant, Arkansas.
Y'all moved from Puerto Rico straight to Bryant?
Straight to Bryant,
Really?
Arkansas. Yep.
See, I didn't
Yeah.
know that. I've had you on the show many times. And why Bryant?
My dad ended up finding a job with a trucking company in Arkansas, and that's what brought us here.
That would be
Yeah.
CalArk on
Trucking.
I-30 down around the Bass Pro Shop
Yep.
in southwest area of the city.
Yep.
I did not realize that's why y'all came here.
Yep. That is.
See, I love this show.
Yeah.
I learned so much on this show about my staff, and that, they never ask questions about me because you don't have to. I'll just talk about me on purpose. Gabbi, what about you? Where'd you grow up?
Bryant, Arkansas, born and raised.
So let me ask you, where do you go to church, Liz?
Right here, Family Church Bryant.
Family Church Bryant. On purpose?
On purpose.
Yeah. And you're married to Jose.
Yep.
Now, where is he from?
Puerto Rico as well.
Same area as you?
Pretty close, about
Yeah.
15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes from where I grew up.
And even though you moved here because of your dad, you're now on staff at Second Chance Youth Ranch.
That's right.
And you and your husband not only, we'll talk about your specific position, but you're also foster parents.
Yep.
How many foster children do y'all have in your home?
We have one right now because we're in a transition period. We're supposed to be getting a sibling group of 3, hopefully at some point.
Why do you only have
Yeah.
one? Did somebody just have a group leave?
Yes.
Tell me without breaking any rules, how many kids did you have that just left?
We had a sibling group of 2. That was our last one. Move in with actually our clinical director, Chad Strike, because he had the siblings. So he had other kids move, and then it worked out to where...
So all those siblings are together
Yes.
now. Way to go,
Yeah.
y'all, because that's always our number one goal.
Yes, and then after that, we've been through a few that we have respited or that have moved quickly with siblings or family.
Yeah, it's foster care.
And those have came and gone. Yeah, sometimes it's a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
And so hopefully our next one will be a sibling group of 3 little kiddos, so we'll see.
How many birth children do you have?
2.
So you have your 2, currently have 1, getting ready to get 3 more?
Yes.
I'll have to call Billy and Rachel real quick. Can I get my phone?
Yeah.
Hey, they need some more kids.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. But you're out and about most all day.
Yes.
Taking care of your responsibilities. What is your current position at Second Chance Youth Ranch?
So I'm the foster care coordinator, so I help recruit and train the new families that want to open their home to become
So if someone
foster
has
families.
that dream, like my mother had her whole life
Yes.
growing up to be a foster parent, and then she had 5 kids and became a foster parent anyway, they could actually call or email,
Yes.
use all these electronic things, and you would be one of the persons that they would meet,
Yes.
and you could answer their questions.
Yes, I would answer all their questions. what kind of paperwork they have to fill out, what does the state require for you to be able to become a foster parent. I would go to their home if they want to do it out of their own home, and do an inspection, because the state has requirements for how the home should look and what kind of condition it should be in.
Let me clarify that. So if someone has a home and they have children or not and have a bedroom or two,
Yes,
they could open up what we would call a community home.
correct. Yep.
And we would still give them support, encouragement. Our network, case managers, clinical staffs all work with those families.
Yes, yeah.
Or if they want to work in one of our homes, what we
Yes.
call campus homes. We have homes in Benton, getting ready to build another one. We have your home and total of 4 right here on this 25 acres here on I-30 in Bryant.
And then
Do we have
4 in
others?
Perrin, the 4 in Perrin.
The 4 in Perrin, and then 2 in Benton.
Yes.
That we built.
So 10 total. We're fully staffed.
And we have somewhere in the vicinity between 80 and 90 children currently.
Yes.
You know, and again, when we give numbers, we don't really know how many kids we have today, because we may have some that just left and some that may show up today.
Yes.
And then you have the emergency interventions that might show up at any moment.
Yep.
So if someone has interest in just, hey, what's it like?
Yes.
All
What
right.
does it take?
How long have you been married?
12. It will be 13 years this year in October.
And how long have you served at Second Chance Youth Ranch as
6
foster
years.
parent? 6 years.
Yes.
And as I always say, that you deserve a reward, and you'll get one in heaven, by the
I
way.
will. Yes.
But the turnover in fostering is really heavy.
Yes.
We've heard so many other agencies say we lose more foster parents than we can hire.
Yes.
We have worked real diligently, you, Billy, Rachel, and the whole clinical and support team, to build a network
Yes.
where we don't lose our foster parents after 9 months
Yes.
or a year.
Correct.
So, Gabby, we've got a minute 30 here. How do you know anything about Second Chance Youth Ranch? How did you, what was your first exposure to the ranch, if you will?
Yeah, so my first exposure to the ranch was when I was 3 years old, and my parents, we sold all our stuff. We moved out to the Perrin campus, and we took in 7 teenage boys into our house. So, yeah, big first experience.
Your parents came to meet with me, and I've known your mom since she was a preteen.
Yes.
And of course, your dad since they met. And I said, you want to be foster parents. Now you realize foster children don't always behave well. They don't always talk the way we would prefer, or behave, properly the way we would like. And your children are going to be exposed to that.
Yes.
Well, we feel that's what we're called to do.
Yeah.
Now, you're a second generation, because just very recently you have come on staff at Second Chance Youth Ranch.
Yes, sir. 2 weeks ago.
What do you do? Do you even know yet?
I mean, I do a little bit of everything. So my official title is administrative assistant, but I do some social media stuff, some compliance stuff to make sure we can
So you work
keep
directly
homes
with
open.
Rachel?
Yes.
And that part of the support team, the social media team, and you have some interactions with the case managers
Yes.
and therapists and all that.
So our office is really cool.
Hold that thought.
I
Your
will.
office is very cool, but we're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
A mission field around you is filled with young hearts needing a forever family. And at Second Chance Youth Ranch, our team is committed to providing healthy, stable, loving homes and families to hurting children in the Arkansas foster care system and those up for adoption. Please contact us if you feel the tug at your heart to help foster or adopt, and find out the steps you could take to help fulfill a child's lifelong dream. Maybe you can't foster or adopt, but you could help. The need for thousands of children in the system is staggering. But with the help of faithful partners and business alliances, we are meeting those needs right now. Would you help us make a difference? Every gift, regardless of size, impacts a child's life directly and helps provide for a home in the gap right now. Visit the Second Chance Youth Ranch website at 2CYR.org to read more, watch the stories, and to make a contribution for a hurting child's care. Monthly partners are needed, so please contact us right away. And as you partner with this ministry, you are partnering with the Heavenly Father that has promised to be Father to the fatherless. God bless you for helping Second Chance Youth Ranch.
Hey, welcome back to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. Our special guest, Liz Rosso and Gabbi Latin. And when we took the break just a moment ago, Gabbi was telling us about how cool your office is. So we want to know, how cool is your office?
Yeah, so the cool thing about our office is we all have our individual like responsibilities and titles, but like we're open to helping in any way possible. And so like I interact with the directors, I interact with the case managers, the therapists, anybody that's up there, if they need any help or assistance, like we are all jumping in on projects.
Wait a minute,
and
that sounds like teamwork.
it is teamwork.
All right,
Yes.
as soon as we finish this show, we're going to go downstairs, call staff meeting, and I'm going to let you talk to my entire staff, 130
Got you.
people. 130 staff members from the ranch, the school, and the church. We're just going to send everybody home, and we're going to have staff meeting, and you're going to explain how important it is
I got you.
to work together as a team in a spirit of unity so we
Yes.
can change lives.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's not going to happen because we're busy. We got
Man.
500 kids on campus today. It's not going to happen. So tell me, you just recently graduated college, though,
Yes, sir. A year ago.
a year ago. I think I was there.
You were. You were reluctantly
Man, I hate graduation ceremonies so bad. And I've got another grandson that's going to graduate in May from college, and the other one graduating here just in a little bit from high school. And you sat through, and I speak at some of those things, and they're just boring speeches.
Yes.
They're just exhausting.
Yes. Well, our guy, he sang for us his speech. So that was a little more entertaining.
Well,
It was very interesting.
you sat through 2.5 hours just so you can go for you to walk across the stage.
Yes.
Way to go. Can we leave now?
Yeah.
So you graduated ULR with a degree
Yes.
in what?
Education.
And at Arkansas Christian Academy, you've been serving up until just very recently as a aide.
Yes.
And I was led to believe by somebody on the set that you were going to be an educator and work on staff and faculty at Arkansas Christian Academy. And then somebody says, hey, Pastor Perry, Rachel, Pastor Perry, I think Gabbi would just, she's always been out here every summer. She lived at the ranch. I just think it would be awesome, if maybe she could come on staff and fill in for the lady that's just leaving because she's now going to be a grandmother again. And I said, but wait a minute, she's got a degree and she's supposed to teach at my school.
I thought I was supposed to teach at the school too, but God, he
All right.
just opens doors.
He does open doors. And Dallas Home in a song, he said, when God closes the door, look for a window. I said, no, if God closes the door, stay in the house or on the porch.
Yes.
So tell me, you lived at the ranch. You were going to be a school teacher. You have a heart for young people. You spent your summers out there most all of your
Yes.
young adult life. So what happened? What was the trigger in your spirit, in your heart, that I want people to understand? When God calls you, you can run, but you can't hide.
Yes.
That's right.
The
Yes.
hound of heaven, he is on your trail.
Yes, for
So
sure.
what clicked?
So for context, I lived at the ranch for 6 years. I've got tons of foster siblings. And then when I was 16 years old, I was looking for a summer job. And my very first job ever, which is it just dives right into ministry. I was a house parent aide for one of our single foster moms. We jokingly say that we were like partners that summer because everything that her husband would typically do to help her out, I did, like watching the kids while she cooked or cleaned or I would clean. And so I expected to love that job, but I really, really fell in love with the kids. We had a sibling group of 5 under 10 that we took care of that summer. And I was just in love with it from
And you were
week
16?
one. I was 16 years old. And I knew in that moment that I was going to foster.
How many are you now?
I'm 21, about to be 22.
Yeah, way to go, girl. I've known you your whole life.
My whole life.
And I'm not done knowing you.
Nope.
No. Because we'll know you for a long, long time.
Yes.
And to be a part of this journey, to watch your journey
Yes.
and your whole family, Just for anybody that doesn't know, your mom came to Family Church when we were in the storefront. The first or second service we had, I think she was 11
I think
or
so.
12.
Yeah.
And gave her life to Jesus. And she is now what we call D3, daughter 3. She thinks she's in the will, but she is not. But she is in our hearts forever. And so I watched you and your brother. Y'all went to Arkansas Christian Academy. He served here at our church in our groundskeeping department.
Yes,
you guys have been here not your whole life because you're not done.
Yeah.
But to watch the journey That's the joy of what we do. But not at the same time, this is the joy of fostering as we take children that are broken and traumatized, and ladies like you and their husbands, though you had to do the work of the husband, impact these young lives.
Yes.
Yeah.
So tell me, what would you say to anyone that's watching why they should prayerfully consider participating in some way, volunteer, support, relief, full-time community or staff?
Yeah. So honestly, the simple answer is God told us to.
Yeah.
I read an article the other day that said, it says 147 times in the Bible that God's heart is for children and orphans.
Yes.
And so if God says it 147 times, we should listen. And so the basic answer is God said so. But a more like in-depth answer is like, we talk a lot about what we do for foster kids, but like they give back so much. Like my life has been completely changed because I've got hundreds of foster brothers out there. I've got little, they call me Miss Gabby or Aunt Gabby, or like I have so many kids that have come into my life, and every single one of them leave like just the biggest mark. Like, I don't know, we're so focused on what we can do for them, but like they do so much for us too.
Rachel sent me a picture 2 days ago during the storms in Arkansas, and her daughter and 2 other little girls were smiling, eyes were beaming, making brownies.
Yeah.
And then she sent me another picture, and they're all cuddled watching some Christmas movie, and it just, it's what keeps me going.
Yes.
It's to see their smiles, the twinkle in their eye, not personally necessarily knowing every detail of their trauma and their past, their history, but just knowing. I see them responding to the safety and the love and the relationships.
100%.
It's impacting.
It is.
Yeah, but somebody watching, Gabby, we only have 30 seconds in this segment. Somebody's watching like, but I don't know, what do you mean God called you? You know, what's your number? You know, the old hee-haw BR 549.
Yes.
How did you relate? You got 30 seconds. How did you get that calling? How did you decipher that?
Yeah, so for me, God speaks in open doors and opportunities, and I don't believe in coincidences. So I had prayed for God to, I wasn't feeling content in my season, and I had prayed for him to show me what my next step looked like, and he answered. Like, it was just very obvious, the guidance in his life and the direction he was sending me.
So I know God's talking to you. You know why? Because you're watching. And we'll be right back right after this video.
When I grow up, I want to be Sonic the Hedgehog.
That'd be cool. What would you do if you were Sonic?
Run, jump, and spin dash.
So what are we gonna do after?
My name is Christian. I'm 11 years old. I like to ride bikes, and I like to play with scooters. My favorite part about school is science. My other favorite part at school is math, and my other one is reading. If I had $1 million, I would go to this store and I'd let people get some food and something.
You just chilling, hanging out. Hey, but give me that good Christian smile right here. Look at me. Now laugh. Do that funny laugh that you were doing.
I want to be adopted by a nice family that loves me and I love them. I'm a good person. I'm kind and I am lovable, and family is a good family that take care of us. My favorite food is shrimp and ramen noodles mixed up with cheese in it. If I only have one wish, I wish to be Sonic the Hedgehog.
Hey, welcome back to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. Those previous segments with Project Zero, children praying, believing God. You talk about hearing God, praying that someone would answer the call to be their mama and their daddy. Oh man, just rips your heart out.
Yes.
Precious children who want a second chance.
Yes.
Liz, what would you say to our viewers that they've just wrestled with this? You know, I've heard how hard it is. What does Second Chance Ranch do that's helping lift the burden off of foster parents?
Yeah.
What do we do?
Yeah, so we have case managers. We call them, they're all females right now, so we call them the aunts, the fun aunts.
AUNTS,
Yes.
the aunties.
Yes.
Yeah.
They become like a first line of communication with the foster parents after their home is open. So many people that become foster parents, if it's their first time, they're unsure of many things, like how do we communicate with DCFS and how do I find...
Are the aunts, are they proactive? Do they reach out? Are we, okay,
Yeah.
here's 4 or 5
Yeah.
kids. You're on your own. If you need us, call us.
Yes, they're very proactive. Many times they're there the day that the foster parents are going to receive their first placement.
Wow, that's cool.
Sometimes even if the kids come late, a lot of kids come without clothes or come with lice, and the aunts have stayed and helped remove lice.
Head lice, they
Yeah.
just comb and comb for
Yes.
literally for hours.
Yeah, especially if you get a sibling group, and there's several of them that are going to have to go through the treatment.
Yeah.
Sometimes while some of them are feeding the kids and treating their hairs, the other ones are going to the store and trying to figure out what size they wear and get them clothes and shoes, so the next day they have clean stuff to wear.
And usually when we find out we've got a sibling group and it's boys or girls, whatever the issue is, you guys all run down to the stores
Yes.
and endeavor to decorate the house based
Yes.
on what we've learned about the children that are coming. If they
Yes.
like airplanes, we put pictures of airplanes.
Yes.
If they like unicorns, we'll put
Yeah.
pictures of unicorns and a
Yeah.
unicorn pillow. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Sometimes once we figure out the kids we're getting in, the aunts go to the house ahead of time to help move a bed, or
Yeah.
they're going to have to go from 2 beds to a crib or a bunk bed, and so
Yeah.
they're there helping every step of the way. It's really neat because for a first-time foster parent, it can be very nerve-wracking and overwhelming to know what to expect when you're receiving that first placement. Even myself, after 6 years, when we're getting new kiddos, I get like a little, like nervous and anxious, like what are they going to be like? Usually as soon as I see the child and I greet them, that goes away. It's like, this is another child that I'm going to get to love on for whatever time they're at home. And so you get more used to it, to those transitions, the more you do it. And so then they have to be registered for school or daycare. So the case managers, they help with all those things. Sometimes, life happens. The foster parents could have an emergency or could want to take an anniversary trip. And so they help make communication smooth with DCFS, or if they need to drop off medications, or if they need to keep the child at the office for a little bit so the family can go to a doctor's appointment. There's many different ways that they step in and make sure the family feels supported. I think the DCFS themselves has done research on what causes families to close quickly, and if I'm not mistaken, every time it comes back is the lack of support, that they felt like DCFS dropped kids off to them, and afterwards it was hard to get a hold of people, and they just didn't know, like they didn't have a copy of the birth certificate or the Social Security to be able to register them in school. So that's when the case managers step in and become that middle person, that communication, so the parents can really dedicate themselves to taking care of the kids and making them feel welcome and safe and loved, especially those first few days, because it's really hard on the kids.
Sunday at church, down at our children's check-in area in the foyer, I walked over and talked to one of their newer foster dads that lives at the ranch, and his children, his foster children, and I could see they were new and they were a little nervous.
Yes.
And then I walked over just a step, and a young man who wears a hoodie, who has never spoke to me. I spoke to his, I didn't know they were siblings, spoke to his little brother and the other little bit bigger little brother. And then the one with the hoodie said to me, never said a word to me. He said, I'm from Jonesboro too. I went, homie, tell me more. And so I've seen such an impact in his life where he's coming out of his inward self, that he's gone inward and built those barriers. So I went home, I walked to the car going, man, my homie's from Jonesboro
Yes.
too, and he
Yes.
told me so.
Yes.
And I don't think many people realize the trauma, how
Yes.
traumatic it is to be removed from a home, which is the only normal you know, and to come into care. And we've worked so hard to keep our sibling groups together.
Yes.
And I see all these little siblings, it really
Yes.
keeps me going.
Yeah, and if we're talking about the same young man, he recently told his foster parents that he's ready to be baptized.
Did.
Oh
Yes.
man, y'all making my day.
Yes.
And just 2 weeks ago, we dedicated the three. You were on stage because some of them don't speak the language I speak, which is Arkansan, not English, and dedicated those three babies.
Yes.
Oh man!
Yes, the teen moms. That was really special. Yes.
Very.
And then I saw one of the little girls, little mamas, with her infant, and we
Yes.
gave her a pink Bible for her little boy.
Yes. Yeah.
And I walked over to her Sunday and I said, we're going to get you, and we got it today, matter of fact,
Yeah,
this morning.
good.
We got you a blue Bible. I think the little
Yes.
boy's Angel.
Angel.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I said, I got you. And well, she didn't speak my language.
Yeah.
And so the older little mama
Yes.
of the little boy that's
Yeah.
about 2 now, and she who didn't speak much English when I met her a year or so ago, 2 years ago, and she interpreted
Yes.
and that I'm going to get the Bible for
Yes.
Angel.
Yes.
And so those are the special moments I
Yes.
have. I'm not out there in the field with y'all. I'm not out there in the nitty gritty. I'm the visionary leader who had this dream in me for decades and decades and decades. And now I get to live the good part. I get to see them at church when they are behaving, getting dedicated, getting baptized. It invigorates me.
Yes.
It really, truly
Yes.
invigorates me.
Yeah. And they're thriving. All those kids
yeah.
are thriving. I mean, it's amazing the difference of being in a safe, loving home, what it will make for a child.
Gabby, we got a minute. That's all we got. Why should anybody not support the ranch, but become a part of our support family?
Yeah. So I was actually just watching one of these episodes, and Miss Rachel was talking about how we've decreased our numbers in Arkansas because we are raising a next generation who's taking care of their children.
Yeah.
But also we're raising a next generation that's becoming foster parents. Like me, Bronley, Brooklyn, Cassia Strike, when you get involved, it's not just you, it's like a family ministry.
Yes.
And it's just really cool that we make that impact by leaving a legacy.
And let me tell you about that impact, 20 seconds. Your mom and dad, just Sunday, a young lady who's got children herself that lived at the ranch, been gone from the ranch for years, was adopted. They were helping her this weekend. That's Second Chance Youth Ranch. That's why we do what we do.
Yes.
And we want you to be a part of changing lives.
Yes.
We'll see you next week.